So now we're going to take some notes to follow up on the movie about how airplanes fly, the four forces, and then also some controls on how we make those principles come to light. So first off, you have notes, the four forces of flight, and your version actually has the airplane pointed in the opposite direction. So you're going to need to make sure that you're basically reversing the direction of what I am putting in the different arrows. So let's talk about the four forces of flight that were highlighted in the movie. Thrust, which is in the front of the airplane. Drag, which is in the back. Lift, which is on top. And gravity, which is on the bottom. So first we have thrust. So on your notes, where you have the arrow that's in the front of the airplane, go ahead and write thrust. And then underneath where you have thrust written in the arrows, go ahead and write these little pieces of information. So thrust is the forward movement of the plane, and it's caused by the engine/throttle. So thrust is the forward movement of the plane. So again, make sure your thrust arrow is at the front of your plane. Drag is the opposite force from thrust. It is the force that opposes thrust. So it's the complete opposite. It slows the forward motion of the plane. And it's caused by friction, contact with the air. So if you're an airplane flying in this direction through thrust, you're going to come up against a whole bunch of air. It's that bumping into the air that's causing drag. The third principle is lift. Lift is the upward force that opposes gravity, and it's caused by the shape of the wing and what's called Bernoulli's principle, which we learned about on the video. And then finally we have gravity. Gravity is the force that pulls the plane toward the ground, and it's caused by the weight of the plane and its cargo. So there's our four forces of flight. So please make sure you have those in your notes. If you turn your notes around to the other side, now we get to talk about the parts of the airplane that are responsible for guidance, so steering our plane. The first part we're going to talk about is the elevator. So the elevators are located on the back of the plane, on both the horizontal parts of the tail, so here, and then obviously on the other side of the tail. By raising and lowering those elevators, you can change the pitch, which is if the nose is pointing up or down. So if you look here, here's a little animation. You can see back here we've got the elevators flapping up and down on both sides, so on this side and then also on this side. And that is causing the nose of the plane to go up and down. Okay, so that's pitch, when the nose of the plane goes up and down, and it's caused by the elevators. Next we have the rudder. Notice it's right against the tail, so that's located on the vertical part of the tail, up and down. Turning the rudder left or right causes the plane to yaw. Really strange word, but it yaws left or right. So the rudder is associated with yaw. So let's look at a demonstration of this. So here we've got our same airplane, and it's got the rudder, and the rudder is turning left or right, and it's causing the tail to move right or left. Okay, so that actually helps to guide the plane. All right. Finally, we have what's called the aileron. Aileron, and they're pointing right here, these parts on the plane's wings. The flaps are located on both wings, and raising and lowering those ailerons raises and lowers the wings. That makes the plane roll left and right. So we're talking about rolling. So these ailerons are right here, And by flipping them up and down, you cause the plane to roll left or right, literally rolling along its axis. And we're done. So bring these with you to class, and we will make sure that we go over them if you have any questions.